Let me ask that we all take a moment to silence electronic devices, please. I would also like to ask you to refrain from taking pictures, as we have a professional photographer taking group and individual photos of graduates. These pictures will be available online, free of charge. Please check the school website for more details. Congratulations to the class of 2021, and welcome family, friends, staff, trustees. As you can see in our flags around us, our senior class represents 18 different countries and 1 U.S. territory. Together, we have stayed strong, focused, and resilient to get to this day. You all have my utmost respect and admiration for fighting it through. Good job. Let me ask you to all rise again, please, and stand as Mr. Randall Starbird comes to the podium to offer the 2021 Senior Chapel invitation.
Thank you. To the Creator, may this celebration be a celebration of the hard work that has been put in by the class of 2021 over these past 4 years. May we highlight our triumphs over struggles, and may we honor the class as a whole for everything that we have achieved at our golden years of MCI. Let us come together before our commencement to behold each other one last time as a class full of peers, friends, and brotherhood, and let us celebrate all of our accomplishments here at MCI through a tradition that has been handed down from our forefathers who once stood on this stage. Amen.
You may be seated. Please rise for the singing of the school hymn, led by Lauren Lancaster and Kaylee Machille. School song. I'm pleased now to invite this year's salutatorian, Annabelle Street, to the podium to present her address. Annabelle has been a stellar global citizen here for 4 years, that I've seen her positive and thoughtful ambassadorship in action. Thank you, Annabelle, for being here.
Hello and happy Senior Chapel to you all. Congratulations, we made it. Earlier this year, when I was applying to colleges in the fall, I was asked to write a series of supplemental essays to send to various universities. The prompts ranged from what I would name an imaginary food truck to which of my beliefs I've questioned in the past and for what reasons. One of the questions that stood out from the rest asked me to share about a place that I consider home, and to explain how it has shaped my perspective on the world. The reason why it stood out to me was because as I began writing, I had a very startling and somewhat disconcerting realization that sometime over the past 4 years, I have begun to consider MCI my home. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Annie Street, and I've been living just over to your right in Alumni Hall for the past 4 years. I came to MCI when I was 13 to dance with Boss Off Ballet Theater. And now at 17, I'm leaving it as a full-fledged and deeply committed member of this community. When I first came to MCI, I did not expect for that to happen. I was, and in many ways still am, an outsider to Pittsfield and this community. I didn't grow up here, so many of you do not know my family, my values, the way I was raised, or any of the embarrassing childhood traits I thankfully managed to discard before high school began. In spite of this, I remarkably never felt as if I did not belong here. I credit that to the empathy, kindness, and generosity that I've experienced from people all throughout MCI. I remember one time during my freshman year of high school, while my class was decorating our class float for homecoming, I told my friend Dawn that I was homesick. Actually, it might be closer to the truth to say that Dawn asked me what was up, and I started bawling my eyes out on the steps to Founders. But either way, she took it in stride, and the next day, I was at her house eating home-cooked food and napping with her cat, Tyler. Another time, during the midterms of my junior year, I walked past Mrs. Pomeroy during a passing period, and she somehow managed to ascertain that I was just a little bit stressed, so she invited me to go sledding with her family and treated me to a smoothie from Popovers. It's not just big gestures that have made me feel at home here, however. It is the fact that the dining staff knows me by name, even though they serve hundreds of students every day. It is knowing that I can text my friends Natalie and Emmeline at 2 o'clock in the morning, desperately asking for help with homework. And if they don't answer automatically, it will be the first thing that they do when they wake up in the morning. It is because when my bike tires are deflated, I know that my friend Sherman will offer to fill them up for me before I even have to ask. This culture of kindness and the genuine compassion with which I've been treated over the past 4 years are why I have always felt so at home here. This year, as we have seen our world fall into utter turmoil and disunity, as we've witnessed a severe lack of empathy and kindness in the world, I would not have wanted to be surrounded by any other group of people. To say that this past year has been difficult would be a wholly inadequate statement. This year has not merely been difficult, it has been downright depressing. Our daily lives have been redefined by masks and social distancing policies. We've witnessed economic collapse, racial injustice, natural disasters, the threat of global warfare, voting restrictions, regulations on women's bodily autonomy, and an increasingly divisive political climate that even resulted in a domestic attack on our country's capital. All while the pandemic has claimed the lives of millions of people across the world. In other words, it is nearly impossible to look around the world right now and feel anything but hopeless. There are so many problems and no clear solution on how to fix any one of them. Yet the part that troubles me the most is not the lack of solutions, but the fact that it often feels as if we are not trying to find them together. One of the most significant things that I have noticed this year is that most people do not want to consider or discuss any opinions that are contrary to their own. We recognize differences, and more often than not are willing to condemn them. But we lack a desire to understand them. With all of the division I see in the world and all of the discontent I bear because of it, I'm still leaving MCI with an abundance of hope for our future. Over my past 4 years at MCI, I have watched as people from all across the world, people of different backgrounds who share different beliefs and belong to different cultures, come together on the basis of friendship, and then expand their perspectives on the world out of a genuine desire to understand each other better. Because the primary context in which we know each other is as friends, we are more inclined to listen and to empathize with one another. We recognize the goodness and intelligence in the people we care about, so we are more apt to understand how their beliefs reflect those things, even if they do not do so in the same manner as our own. We approach conversations not as a means to prove that our opinion is right, but instead as a way to understand how our friends have come to believe what they do. These conversations are rarely easy, but for me, they have enriched my understanding of the world by forcing me to continually confront my personal biases. During my time at MCI, I have discussed the merit and shortcomings of organized religion over dinner. I have sat on the floor of my dorm room and listened to my friends talk about their discomfort with vaccinations. I've had conversations with my international friends about some of the negative ways that America is perceived by the rest of the world. Throughout these conversations, there have been many times when I've caught myself making careless statements that come from my own singular and limited perspective. In the same way, there have been times when I have felt that my thoughts were unfairly disregarded. It is thanks to the relationships that I have with my friends and the mutual respect that we hold for each other that we are still able to push through and recognize the merit in each other's beliefs. Empathy, kindness, and generosity are what have made MCI feel like home to me. The love and support that I feel on this campus have empowered me to put myself in uncomfortable situations in order to understand the people that I care about more fully. As we go out into the world, I hope that we will continue to exercise this empathy and kindness. I hope that we will look for places where they are absent and fill those spaces. I hope that we will make an effort to understand other people, where they come from, and what they believe in. Controversy and disagreement are unavoidable, but they can and should be tempered through empathy. We cannot find solutions to any of the world's problems until we are willing to search for the merit in opinions that are contrary to our own, and recognize the beauty of allowing multiple voices to be heard. We may not be able to change the world on our own, but we can create spaces in the world where our differences unite us rather than separate us. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie. Those were very thoughtful remarks, very appropriate for our times. Next, I'll ask Sherman O'Brien and Hector Bly to come to the podium. The podium for the traditional ceremonial transfer of the presidential gavel. In doing so, I thank Sherman and all the student leaders for their exceptional loyalty to MCI and their exemplary leadership this past year and throughout their time at MCI.
I, Sherman John O'Brien V, couldn't be more excited for a senior class at MCI. I was asked to give a piece of advice from class president to class president in a way to enjoy the next year, but instead I'm going to give a piece of advice from friend to friends. Go to prom. Go to drive-in theaters, sing at the next coffee house even though you really don't think you can sing on key. I think you should soak up every minute you can from your senior year. Just jump into every opportunity you have to become more involved with the community that you're constantly surrounded with. Too many times people from MCI take all 4 years in their own little bubble without ever really stepping out and enjoying the time they'll look back when they're 45 or 50 years old and think, oh yeah, that was fun, that was alright. So, with that, I'm handing this gavel with a smile on my face to a class I know is capable of plenty of great things. And who better to represent that class than the great accordion playing, ballet dancing, right-hand man, Hector Bly.
Thank you very much, Sherman. And thank you to class of 2021 for being a shining example of charismatic, caring, and inspirational students. Your time here has been so super, and I really look up to every one of you. I can say with confidence that you'll be dearly missed. Even though our junior class may right now be a simple loaf of white bread, I hope that following your footsteps, we can become a shining baguette, just like you. Thank you very much.
These are tough acts to follow. Each year, the faculty and staff award, Each year, the faculty and staff award committee nominates, discusses, and then votes on 4 fellowships and a VIP award. Let me ask the following individuals to come forward and stand in front of the stage. Mr. Glenn Chase, Mrs. Mci Goldman, Mr. Jacob Gary, Mrs. Jessica Liddy, and Mrs. Kirsten Humroy. So Glenn, would you please step forward here to the... Glenn Chase is receiving the Roger B. Percival Faculty Fellowship. Glenn is a freshman team leader, meeting often with freshman teachers to discuss difficulties kids have and come up with avenues for students to find success. He models learning in the classroom by taking professional development courses to improve his craft and often volunteers for committee work at MCI. He truly cares about his students, learning, and seeks opportunities to participate in school improvement and activities. He and I are always seeking the newest textbooks. When you come by my classroom or my office, you'll see all of Glenn's free orders of textbooks. The newest online resources, not for the sake of novelty, but to keep it real, both in terms of content and in terms of what's happening now in the world of science, 2021. Please step forward. Kirsten Humroy is receiving the Herbert F. Newhouse Faculty Fellowship. As you've already heard, kind, compassionate, funny, empathetic, Kirsten is the person students go to when they need to talk. She always makes time for students, whether they are stopping by just to say hi or experiencing an issue, as Andy pointed out. She is a thoughtful listener and advocates for students when they are having trouble advocating for themselves. Kind of like a mother to her students, both through unconditional acceptance and her gentle guidance for those who need a little tough love. Kirsten is able to find the silver lining in every situation and not only help students see the silver lining, but also make a plan to improve. She is, above all else, an advocate and a cheerleader for all students. Jacob Gary is receiving the Adrian E. Ali Faculty Fellowship. Jacob pushes students to achieve their very best, even when they don't think they can. He is always smiling and always has a kind word for others. He encourages students to focus, to look for solutions to challenges, and he works with students and parents in a positive way. Jacob lives the saying, No problem can withstand the assault from sustained thinking. A solution seeker rather than a problem finder. He models teamwork in his thoughts and his actions. Jessica Libby is receiving the Douglas C. Cummings Endowed Fellowship for Advanced Study. As the department head, Jessica is thoughtful, analytical, organized, and passionate about creating a stellar science STEM program and providing opportunities for students. She seeks opportunities for professional development for herself and her department members, advocating for courses that will improve their craft and further enhance their effectiveness in the classroom. As a teacher, she is engaging, compassionate, and cultivates solid relationships with students that contribute to their success. She expects students' best effort, and because of these relationships, she gets their best effort. Her classroom is also really cool, and anytime I give a building tour, I'm always going to see those turtles. Jessica, congratulations. Well, what's not to say? Michelin is a dedicated educator, committed to helping students be their best. She holds students to high standards and expectations and helps them meet those expectations. She will help any student, regardless of whether they are her students or not. She understands community is needed for students and that we must educate collaboratively and together and look at the whole student. She is a positive force in her department and on our campus, and we are truly lucky to have her. Okay, now we move to the scholarship portion of the ceremony. Description of the scholarships can be found in your handouts, I believe. On your way out. Please hold your applause until all receive their awards. Students, please stand when your name is called. Okay? At its award ceremony on the 27th of May, the Somerset Career and Technical Center presented scholarships and awards to the following students. Please stand to be recognized. The Bar Harbor Bank and Trust Scholarship and the Blue Collar Scholarship was awarded to Megan Reed. Class of 1961 scholarship was awarded to James Jensen. Embark scholarships were awarded to James Jensen, Gavin MacArthur, and Braylon Vadestein. Thank you. The following students were recognized as program leaders for dependability: Ryan Friend, Megan Reed, Danica Stock, and Jonathan Wiley. For interpersonal skills, James Jensen, Gavin MacArthur, Megan Reed, Danica Stock. And for resourcefulness, Tracy LaRochelle, Rashawn Vile, and most improved, Carolyn Swain, and Braylon Vadstein for interpersonal skills. The following group of students are receiving recognition for their commitment to attending school by achieving perfect attendance. Will the following students please come forward? This includes online attendance? Devin Chen. Forward. Lee Kiersey, Jiwan Park, Isabel Picard, Megan Reed, Leanne Stark, Leon Wan. these awards from the Visual and Performing Arts Department, not just in recognition of their talent, but also because of the way they supported and inspired younger students. Will the following students please come forward? Stephanie Higgins, Lauren Lancaster, Fernando Machado, Win Tan Nguyen, Sherman O'Brien, Annabelle Street, Danica Stott, Sayaka Tada. Choral music, Sayaka. Instrumental music, Sherman. Vocal jazz, Danica. Concert band, Lauren. Visual arts, Win Tan Nguyen. Theater arts, Stephanie and Sherman. Technical theater and costume design, Fernanda. Stage and TV makeup teacher assistant, Fernanda. Ballet, Annabelle. Please see it. Sayaka, please remain. So the students, please come up. Brooke Galloway, Ryan Friend, Udamasuk, Mana Wansako, and Warren Ricker. Warren Ricker will be receiving the Somerset Academy Trustee Scholarship. Warren Ricker will also receive the Dr. Green Scholarship. The Gladys Leeson Scholarship, Brooke Galloway. The Detroit Good Cheer Club Scholarship, Ryan Friend. The MCI Citizenship Award, Sayaka Tada. The MCI Residential Leadership Award, Udamasuk Manawan Sako. The following students please come up. Nyak An Chin Wan, Natalia Hopkins, Cole Steve, Annabelle Street. Annabelle Street is receiving the Student Council Contribution Award. Natalia is receiving the Student Council School Contribution Award. Cole is receiving the Christopher Dion Memorial Scholarship. And Nyuk An Chin Wan is receiving the Cook Music Fund Scholarship. Evelyn Hatch, please come up. Don, Louise Moss, Sherman O'Brien, and Caroline Swain, please come up. The MCI Key Club Scholarships go to Emily, Natalie, and Don. The Robbie Tibbetts Memorial Scholarship goes to Sherman. And the Pittsfield Range Scholarship goes to Caroline. Could I have Emily Gould, Isabel Picard, and Randall Starberg please come up? The Tammy Bodwell Memorial Scholarship goes to Emily. The Norval B. Lewis English Award goes to Isabel. The Peter Bradshaw Memorial Award goes to Randall. And the Myrtle Maine Sherman French Award goes to Sherman. So could I have Natalie Hawkins, Lauren Lancaster, Dawn, Megan Reed, Danica, Thomas. The Elizabeth Proctor Memorial Scholarship goes to Lauren. The SAD 53 Education Association Scholarships go to Natalie, Dawn, Megan, Danica, Annabelle, and Thomas. The American Legion Scholarship Award goes to Natalie. Danica, Megan, Asa, yeah. Stephanie, Parker, please come up. The Andrew B. Klein and James M. Lovely Memorial Scholarship goes to Danica. The MCI SAD 53 Music Boosters Scholarship goes to Asa. The Hancock Lumber Scholarship goes to Stephanie. The Richard McCorkle Scholarship goes to Megan. And the C.M. Omi goes to Parker Sinclair. Could I have Mason Berthollet, Ryan Friend, Adriana Oliveria, and Cole Steves come up, please? The George Dameron Memorial Scholarship goes to Ryan Friend. The Michael S. Susi Football Boosters Scholarship goes to Cole. The Maurice Hatch Memorial Scholarship goes to Mason. And the W. Howard Niblock Scholarship goes to Adriana. Mia Chiquette, Dawn, Natalia, Natalie, sorry, and Annabelle. Please come up. The Sebastopol Valley Hospital Auxiliary goes to Mia. The MCI Alumni Association Scholarships goes to Cole and Natalie. The Elks Lodge number 2713 goes to Cole. And the Gordon Scholarships go to Dawn and Annabelle. Nicholas Carr, please come up. Nicholas Carter, Isabel Picard, Megan Reed, Allie Tilton. The Patricia Palian Memorial Scholarship goes to Allie Tilton. The Spastic Valley Region Federal Credit Union Scholarships go to Nicholas, Don, and Megan. And the Tyler Grand Mason Melmac Scholarship goes to Isabel. Could I have Natalie come up again, please? Udamasa, Sherman, Cole. The Josh Sawyer Memorial Scholarship, award to Cole. The Cummings Leadership Award, awarded to Natalie. The Rodney Johannet Scholarship to Sherman. And the Davis Scholarship to Udamsa. Could I have Alexander Dion, Jillian Hartley, I have Nicholas Carter, Asa, Paquette, Gavin, MacArthur, Cole Steves, Thomas Alderson, please. The DJ Richard Memorial Scholarship goes to Gavin. The Sibley Pond Scholarship goes to Nicholas. The Blaine Littlefield Memorial Scholarships go to Asa, Cole, and Thomas. Could I have Devin Chen, Lorenzo Morini, Sherman O'Brien, Sung Hin Park, and Sayaka Tada? Please come up. The Rennie Charitable Foundation's scholarship is awarded to Devin, Lorenzo, and Sungbin. The Libby Family Endowment Scholarship is awarded to Sayaka. The Senator George J. Mitchell Institute Scholarship, Sherman O'Brien. This concludes our presentation of the 2021 scholarships, and what these kids have been able to accomplish, I think the audience should stand up and give them a round of applause. Thank you. Once again, I invite Mr. Randall Starbird to come to the podium and offer the closing benediction. When he concludes, class marshals will step forward and lead the recession of the seniors. And I'll ask everyone to remain where you are as they do so.
Thank you once again. As we end this ceremony, I would like to take a passage from John Wycliffe's Sermon on the Mount. For this end, we must be knit together in this work as one man. We must entertain each other in brotherly affection. We must be willing to abridge ourselves of our superfluities for the supply of others' necessities. We must uphold familiar commerce together in all meekness, gentleness, patience, and liberality. And we must delight in each other, make others' conditions our own, rejoice together and mourn together, labor and suffer together, always having before our eyes our commission and community in work as members of the same body. So shall we keep the unity in the spirit of bond of peace. Amen.